righty, please turn off your cell phones and stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So before we get started, thank you first of all for being here, but before we get started, I just wanted to push out take a look behind me on this screen, because those are some pretty wide-eyed and very brave children. This is thanks to PTA for doing the funding for Jeff the Animal Guy, right? Yes? It was mesmerizing. He was probably there for an hour and a half with a capuchin monkey and something that looked like a sloth, but it really wasn't, and a frog that was bigger than, didn't look like a real frog. So a centipede with 500 legs that was going to grow to 1,000 that had a different name to it. But on the end of this snake is Mrs. Brechtel, and the tail was definitely not still as it was moving around, but I could probably back up a little bit. It was fascinating to watch the kids with this. If you want to see a video, just come see me after the board meeting. I'll be happy to show you the rest of the story. So thank you to PTA. All right. Are we ready? Let me find what I want.
Code of conduct?
Okay.
Yeah, man, kinda.
Good evening. I'm just here to present the changes to the district's code of conduct. We met probably a month and a half ago. We have representatives from all three buildings, administrators, teachers, we had parents, we had students reps. There's not a lot of changes that we made this year. There's probably about 5 or 6 of them. I'd like to go over them very briefly with you. Page 3. We simply changed the email addresses on the bottom, took out the winner, we didn't need that anymore. On page 10, number 7 is talking about tube tops and tank tops. And the very last sentence there, it says use. They used to say use age-appropriate discretion with the tops. We just now use appropriate discretion with the tops. We just simply removed the age for the elementary building. The next change is right across on page 11. If you look at number 14, at discretion of building principals, inappropriate use of electronic devices on buses will be subject to discipline as per number 8, Article 9, under prohibited student conduct.
So is that new?
No, it changes a little bit. If you go to the next page, number 12, you will see number 8 highlighted, and it pertains to electronic devices. And it simply puts in perspective what each grade or building level wants. Electronic devices in pre-K to 2 are deemed inappropriate. They shouldn't have them at all. In Mr. Graff's building, electronic devices in grades 3 to 6 used at the discretion of the teachers or the administration. And then C through D is there's really no changes at the high school. We still allow them to use it in the cafeteria. We allow them to use cell phones in the classrooms at the discretion of the teachers. They can use them in the hall during class changes. They cannot use them in the halls during instructional time. And number D, it tells you if you are caught using a cell phone in class, the first time we will take it. It's 1 night detention. If you violate it the second time, we will take the phone, we'll give it back at the end of the day. It's a day of ISS. And the third time, we will take it, and it will be 2 days of ISS, and the parent needs to pick it up. Basically, it just puts in perspective what each building is going to hold the students accountable for. On page 22, not another major change. We simply have moved our attendance office out of the main office, and there is now an attendance office in with the clinic and in where Ms. Pellicaro is. So where it says arrival at school, it says at the very bottom before absentees, it says a secondary student arriving at school after 7:30 a.m. during homeroom should report to the attendance office. Before it used to say, please report to the main office. And the last change probably is not really a change, but we have included it in the district code of conduct, and is the new academic eligibility policy. And it simply states the grades, what students must attain to in order to be eligible to participate in sports. And if they are ineligible, that they can attend the academic enhancement program. And if they attend the academic enhancement program, if they have 1 U, they're allowed to practice and participate in clubs and activities. If they have 2 U's, they must go to the academic enhancement program, and they're only allowed to practice. They cannot play in games.
And this is something that you're currently doing this year, it's not a change?
This is something that we are currently doing this year. We've been following that initiative all year. We simply added it to the district code of conduct so it's more accessible to everybody. Besides that, nothing in the code of conduct has changed. But if you have any questions on any previous policies that we've had, I'll be glad to answer them at this time.
I had a question regarding the academic probation policy. I know it's coming out more and we need to hold the kids to a high standard. My concern is how well is it being communicated to the students that they don't have to be failing a class to get a U, and can they receive a U at the discretion of a teacher? Because so one teacher is never going to give you a U even if you miss some homeworks, and another teacher might give you a U if at maybe a quicker trigger. So
Okay. As you adapt any new policy, as you go through the first year, you find the flaws with it. And probably the biggest flaw we have right now is what should you consider giving a student a U for, and what should you not? And right now, we left it up to the discretion of the teachers. And I think one of the things that we're going to have to be looking at this year is set in some guidelines as to what a U should be. If you miss one homework assignment all week and you have a 94 average, should a student get a U? Right now, that's at the discretion of the teacher. I think that part of this policy we need to look at, and we need to come up with some recommendations. But is the program working? The students absolutely, all 7th and 8th graders wanting to go to the dance this weekend are all attending AEP. All the athletes.
Good dance, huh?
Pardon me?
Good dance?
Yeah, good dance. All the athletes are adhering to the policies, they know it, the coaches are supportive of it, and so are the teachers. Our academic ineligibility list at the beginning of the year compared to now is almost in half.
good. Again, in a particular instance that was brought to my attention by the parent, this particular student was in the 90s in this particular class and yet received a U. And so they want their child to be academically strong.
But then again, if this is where this comes in, you can have a 95 average, but if you don't turn in 2 or 3 homework assignments and you don't have a good participation grade for that week, can the teacher give you a U? Yes, because that week you have not performed
Good. All right.
up to the teacher's expectations.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's usually based on more than missing just one homework assignment.
And again, I am all for
Right. And I
rigorous
said,
standard.
we need to really look at some guidelines for that, and I think that's the next step. This will be our 2nd year going into it, and I think that's something that, as a committee, we really need to look at.
Very good.
Any other questions?
I just heard Jack ask how it's communicated to the students, so if you could talk about that for a moment. How is it communicated to the students?
Every Friday afternoon by 2:30, the teachers have to put in their academic eligibility. They go online and they put in the S's and U's for all the students. We do a printout at the end of the day, and these printouts are put into the teacher's homeroom. So on Monday morning, when the student comes into homeroom, they are given a sheet that gives them all their classes and whether they got S's or U's on it. So every Monday morning, the student is notified whether they are academically eligible or ineligible. If they have 1 or 2 U's, it makes them academically ineligible unless if they attend the AEP program. And we also have students, we are also working with the students who have 3 and 4 U's. We're working with them and having them attend the program also. So in the long run, it has been, for the first year, very successful.
My hope is that as the program continues to develop, there's just a growing communication so that a student wakes up Monday morning and finds these U's, so they should know that, hey, you didn't hand in 2 homeworks in a row, you're getting a U, and so the teachers hopefully will continue to communicate that. So nobody wants any surprises.
Right,
So,
and so far this year, students have come down and have asked, geez, I have a U here and I don't know why I have it. Somebody will always check into it, get back to the student, and sometimes the teacher simply, it's a mistake, they shouldn't have a U, and we can go in and justify it and change it.
well, I know this, the students, I don't want to say fear, but are well aware of this policy, and that means their homework's getting done, and that's great.
That's good.
That's great.
I'm going to tell you, the teachers and the coaches have worked very hard to make this a successful program. Any other questions? Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
you. So just to follow up on that then, the Code of Conduct does require a public hearing, right?
Correct.
So this is considered your presentation. It will come back up to the board for approval at the next board meeting, as long as there's 30 days in between this board meeting and the next one.
Correct.
Okay.
Moving on. Okay. Ooh. Mine went away. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. Request to withdraw specific items from consensus. None? Okay. Routine actions, approval of consensus item. Recommended motion that that the following consensus items be approved as listed in the administrative memorandum A through M.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
All right, so now we're at the approximate time that the board has designated to receive statements from individuals and groups. The board will review all statements, then respond appropriately at a future meeting. All persons in attendance are required to sign the attendance sheet and designate their representation for status. For example, parent, teacher, bus driver, chamber of commerce, etc. There is a 2-minute time limit.
Going once?
Moving on. Item 5, new business. There are no resignations. Appointments. All appointments will not be effective, and service to the district pursuant thereto shall not begin until there has been compliance with statutory and regulatory provisions for fingerprinting, certification, and clearance for employment. Here are the recommended motions. Number 1, tenure appointment. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, after successfully completing his probationary period, Thomas Murphy be granted tenure as Director of Finance effective May 20th, 2016.
Second.
Discussion?
It's waiting.
Said no speaking tonight.
It's waiting.
Make sure.
This could be a long
We're gonna
one.
make him wait.
Yeah, he was a little long-winded. Anybody got a book to read?
Alrighty, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried. Congratulations.
Number 2, appoint interim school board attorney, that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the firm Ferrara Fiorenza, P.C., be hereby appointed as interim school attorneys for Eden Central School District effective April 20th, 2016, subject to a letter of engagement acceptable to the superintendent of schools.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, if I may. Is Harder Seacrest, who was contracted with the district, I'm going to suggest in 2012, gave us their 30-day notice that they were no longer doing K-12 attorney work. And so the attorney who was doing K-12 work with them moved on to Ferrara, and since he has some experience with the district, has offered to be our interim attorney until the board decides what they want to do for a permanent, so to speak, permanent school attorney. So the school board, in adopting this, just allows you to have an interim attorney now and for a month, 2 months, whatever that might be. In the meantime, the recommendation that I would have is for the board to decide whether they're going to go out for an RFP, whether they want to interview new attorneys, or they want to just take the recommendation of Mr. Murphy or of me. But this one in particular is just so that you have a board attorney in the meantime.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
Item C, cast votes for BOCES Board of Education, that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education of the Eden Central School District cast 1 vote for 5 of the following candidates for BOCES Board of Education: Ronald Catalano, Linda Hoffman, Joanne Martin, Anita Ray, Kathy Ann Quino Lorca.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
Item D, adopt 2016-17 BOCES administrative budget, that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education of the Eden Central School District, at a public meeting held on April 19th, 2016, hereby adopts a resolution approving the 2016-17 tentative BOCES administrative budget in the amount of $2,926,259.
Second.
Discussion?
Not this. This is their administrative budget, so this is not our commitments.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
Item E, approve 2016-17 BOCES service commitments, that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the 2016-17 commitment for BOCES services be approved.
Second.
Discussion?
This is the one that you have in front of you. It's not actually due to be locked until April 29th, so we try and give you the latest snapshot the day of, which is why you have it now. So there you go.
But it can't wait until the May board meeting for them to approve it.
Well, actually, BOCES doesn't know that, but that, we're still doing it anyway, so
Okay.
we're done.
Yeah.
We're finished.
We're finished, okay.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
Approve Model UN trip to Cornell University, that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Model UN overnight trip to Cornell University, April 14th to April 17th, be approved.
Second.
Discussion?
That's already over.
Thank you, Patty, for noticing that. Absolutely, it is over, and that is a continual frustration when advisors don't get it in time for it to at least hit the board meeting prior to the trip.
Okay.
In this particular one, I'll just simply say it's a first-year advisor from Model UN, and the paperwork came in too late for us to put it on the last month's board meeting. So, but they had a great time, so it would be great if you did approve it.
If we don't approve it, then they have to go
They
back.
have to go back. Generally speaking, when this happens, it doesn't happen again to the same advisor. I remember I remember my very first year that happened on one of our repeat trips, and it hasn't happened since. So there's some learning that occurs. But it would be great if they didn't have to go back, because they're still trying to pay for it the first time.
Do you know how they did?
I don't.
Because they did very well in Chicago last year, remember?
Yes, they did. I don't, but I will
Okay.
make sure that they come and tell us for the next board meeting.
That'd be
It's
awesome.
a great idea.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
Approved closing of scholarship accounts, that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the following scholarship accounts be closed and the balances rolled into the multi-fund account. Service above shelf, $573.79. The G. Lester, what is that?
Scholarship.
Oh, scholarship, sorry. $2,572.27, and the J. Burdick Scholarship, $2,904.33.
Second.
Discussion?
These are not being closed out. All they are is being rolled over from individual accounts to the general account. So they'll still have their own accounting and everything like that. They're just not individual accounts with individual fees. All these scholarships still stand and will run as normal. It's just merely an accounting thing.
Okay.
Because it does look confusing the way that's actually worded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
Approve appropriations increase that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, 2015-16 appropriations be increased by $16,257.66 to $27,093,893.38 to account for increased revenues.
Second.
Discussion?
Just a thank you to all those people who take the time to do this. If you take a moment to look through it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carried.
All right, item 6, information and proposals, the business report.
Mr. Murphy has nothing. Oh, yes.
We had a grant of 10 years.
Yeah, okay.
Your 10-year gift to us.
Wow.
Is this on tape, Barb? Or is that on tape? Okay. It's even video.
Yes.
the news here?
Yeah, Amy's right there. So, Mr. Breen's asking you to make sure that gets in the news, Amy, okay?
Yes, we
Okay.
don't need any headlines with that, thank you.
Tom Murphy had nothing to say.
Now, the superintendent's report?
Sure. So if you take a look at the next section, this is really just trying to set us up for July and for August. So before I go on to the potential dates, I'd just like to say preliminarily is that the three candidates are running unopposed for next year to be on the board. Patty has got her own business, which she had a full page in the Hamburg Sun. So Patty has chosen not to run for next year, but you will be missed. And as I said to you on the phone today, you can see a distinct difference from year 1 of a board member to year 3 in terms of confidence and in the questions and the people that reach out to you. So I really thank you ahead of time for your service. I do. So on that note, though, what I would like to say is that the 3 unopposed candidates, the first one on the ballot is Marlene Grunder, who was past and possibly even present PTA president, am I right? So she just can't get out of that one. But somehow this might help that for you. She'll be running first on the ballot. The second person on the ballot will be Don Sutphin, who has taken on the temporary position right now, and we thank you for that as well, because we'd be running with 6 without you. And the third person on the ballot, I don't know why this happens, is always the incumbent. And they are drawn at random, and that is Paul Shepard, who has been on the board for 3. And so congratulations to the 3 of you. There is a board of meet the candidate night that PTA will run. What that layout looks like will certainly be up to PTA, but I'm sure they'll reach out to all of you. In terms of these potential meeting dates, though, so the reason that I made that notice is that Patty doesn't have to listen for a couple minutes if she chooses not to, is there is a reorg meeting on July 6th. That is a definite, because it has to happen within a number of days of June 30th. See also, August 10th is a Wednesday. It would be great for us to have a special board meeting that night, just in case there are any appointments that we want to have, because most contracts for teachers that are teaching somewhere else, they have 30 days to work there. So if we can pull one off in the beginning of August, at least we can get close to our start date. And then Wednesday, August 31st would be anything left over before the school year starts, just in case we have to appoint someone, and sometimes those school districts will let them go. There has been a request to take a look at different dates, though, for the board retreat, since the middle of July is not working out. So I would love to have some conversation, for you to have conversation as a board. Is there a week in the summer when we could look at doing a retreat with all of you?
Where are we retreating to?
Oh,
Make it a fun place.
you don't want it to be my office, do you? We don't have any place off campus set to go, but we could certainly talk about it. What the intention of that board retreat, though, would be to take a look at the board goals moving forward, to have capital market advisors come in to help us understand what our finances look like, and then to move forward on setting goals for the next year.
Can you just clarify, did you say an entire week?
I just need
Oh.
days
Oh.
in a week.
I was like,
So, Mike, it's going to be at your house. No, I would actually be looking like a Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night,
Okay.
Thursday night. So within a week, if you could
Okay.
just give me a day. It could be a Saturday morning.
Take a deep breath now.
But I do know that people go on vacation, and that week is not working for at least 2 board members right now. You could also kick out what doesn't work for you, and I could work from there.
August is the only month that doesn't work for me.
Doesn't work for you.
Does not.
At
Well, I
all.
shouldn't say the last 2.5 weeks of August.
So August, the last 2.5 weeks are out.
So the week of the 1st and the 8th are good for you at this point?
At this point, yes.
Okay,
Of August?
of August.
No, I'm not here.
First 2 weeks in August are bad for you,
Bad for us, me too.
And then the last of July as well.
and the last of July as well, and the third week in July is out. What
Might
about
be
the
able to
second
hear
week
it
in
down to
July?
an hour.
What about the second week in July?
What is this? That was,
Second week of July is the week of the 11th.
that would be fine
That
for
works
me.
for me.
Early
Miss-
in the week would work for me.
That would work. Mrs. Grunder, that works for you? That was a good answer, thanks. So sometime in the week of the 11th, are there days within the week of the 11th that don't work?
Well,
Tuesday
he-
night, Wednesday
He had mentioned
night.
earlier in the week.
Monday
So-
and Tuesday night work.
Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday would be better.
Tuesday would be
Yeah,
better.
we're leaving on the 14th
Yeah,
of July,
Monday's
so
gotta
it has to be before the 14th.
Oh, where are you going?
Really?
You going on vacation?
Every Monday.
What's the date?
Tuesday or Monday?
Tuesday?
Sorry, Mike threw me off my game. Monday is the 11th.
And
Tuesday's the 12th.
so I heard the 12th is better, Tuesday is better, or the 11th is better on Monday?
Tuesday, I think.
Tuesday was better?
Tuesday.
All right, we'll see if Capital Market Advisors can come on Tuesday, the 12th.
And if not, a Monday as a fallback would work for most people if they can't do Tuesday.
Okay?
We'll
What's
aim
the-
for Tuesday
What's
first.
the earliest you can come during the day?
Is that for everybody?
Sure.
I don't know if I'm working or not yet, so I would say if I am working, the earliest I could probably be here is 2:30. If I'm not, the whole day's open.
I could take off work early.
Oh, there's a good excuse, yeah. If we said 3, is anybody not able to do that?
3 works.
3 works. 3 works? I feel like I'm doing an
Is that,
auction.
I know.
do.
Is that too
Marlene,
late
you're
in the
okay?
day? I mean, I could,
That's okay? All right, we'll shoot for somewhere in there. Let's see what Capital Market.
I don't want to muck everything up. If it's too late, I can,
We'll see.
Okay.
I really appreciate that conversation. All right. So please mark your calendars on the other dates, though, because those dates are solid, and we would just need a quorum on those dates, for sure. In terms of the athletic survey results, you received that by email. I am not here to present the results. That is something for you to look at. I guess I would be asking if there is anything about it that you want to discuss amongst each other here in public, and if in fact you want it to be presented at the next board meeting.
I think presented at the next board meeting would be nice.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Marissa, are you okay with that for the next one?
What's the date of the next board meeting?
Third Wednesday. 18. And when that survey is presented, are you just simply looking at the data, or are you asking Marissa to give you her conclusions? Because I told her she couldn't give them to you so far.
I would say
Just look at the data,
data.
hear the data.
Yeah.
And just compare it and show you different pieces to it? You all right with that, Marissa?
What do we got to? 3/4. We have a playoff game that day, so we should be home, and by 7:30, I'd probably be ready, according to my pitcher.
Wow.
My pitcher knows what's
You're going to do a great game, right? All right. What if we don't put you on first?
Okay.
Okay.
Can I ask a question on that?
Are you asking me?
I'm just, in general, maybe I'll make a statement.
Okay.
Have we looked into at all, like, because North Collins doesn't offer a lot of sports, combining maybe even more than just football with them, because maybe that would build up the teams and there'd be more, that the new turf field could be used.
Would you like that to be part of Marissa's presentation in May?
If she can do it,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's a great way, I mean, revenue can be made,
Okay.
we need to make some revenue.
Yeah.
And I think it would be beneficial to
Okay.
the students of North Collins,
So in May,
and us also, too.
so Marissa can talk about the survey,
Okay,
and then she can also talk about any conversations she's had with other districts.
okay.
Okay.
I know that they don't offer any swimming, because they don't have a pool, maybe, and our swimming teams are down
Okay.
as far as people participating. You know, it's
Are
just,
those two things okay for you, Marissa, for next month?
yes, thank you.
Do you want me to repeat it?
I understand the question. I guess there's a lot, as you know, because we're in talks with Gowanda currently. I don't know what kind of answers I can give you by next month, except for opinions
Just,
and statements.
yeah, just past conversations you've had, or what works and what doesn't, not promises. Perfect, okay. Anything else on the athletic survey? Anything you noticed, or you want to hold off till May?
We can hold off till May.
Okay, okay. Kindergarten enrollment, I'm going to link this one to the capital project, because right now the capital project is pretty much slated to close the wing where pre-K is, and to have 4 classrooms in K1 and 2. But what became very clear to us, and comes clear to us every year when we do kindergarten enrollment, is how fast something can change, which is what we're all after, is more kids. And so the decision has been made by the design team for our architects to create a 5th kindergarten classroom as a swing space, just in case we get caught off guard in April with kindergarten enrollment or in the summertime, so that we have a space to go very fast. So there'll be a 5th kindergarten classroom that can basically be used for anything, but it makes really good sense to me. And then in terms of opt-outs, I guess what I just wanted you to know on the state assessments is that, as you know, we do send letters out. In terms of the opt-outs, our 3rd grade was down, and 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th were all up in both math and ELA this year. So given the changes from state ed, that is what we still saw. Questions? Are you okay?
Board report?
Let me see. The rain barrel. Let's talk about the rain barrel. I bet the kids know about the rain barrel, am I right? You do? Tell me, Allison, what do you know?
First place.
You took first place, yes. So where did you take first place?
In the concept, you're actually going to bring it to the next board meeting.
In May?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That was at least our plan, but I can tell you a little bit. There was a little over 100 rain barrels, from what I've been told. They were separated into different categories. There was like a primary age, and then a middle school age, and then the high school. And of the however many high school, I can get the number, but we took first place. So.
Yay. Very, very cool. Yes, please, bring it in May. Okay. What do you guys do with the rain barrels after you win?
Well, the hope was that this past year we could get it outside, possibly in the courtyard by the library. It did get stopped because I think we were missing a part. So it's a matter of getting it all assembled and then finding a spot for it.
Have you thought about auctioning them off?
We have. My mom and dad want the one from last year. They were like, let's.
How much are they willing to pay?
You are an auctioneer.
Can we use it? I suggested that and thought it would be a great idea.
It is a great idea. Yeah, it would be a lot of fun to watch. And you could pick the date that makes good sense. Patty, you had a question?
Yeah, could we use one of them in the new garden that we're building?
We've been trying to think of places to put them in.
What a great idea.
By the science wing here, or in the courtyard by the library, and we just didn't end up deciding on one, so.
And so there's a community garden that's going in front of GLP, and there's a build on it for the 30th, so that's what Mrs. Kraus is suggesting.
Yeah, we could definitely consider that.
That would be awesome.
You're going to have to pay for it. And then the last thing that I have is, in the consensus items, there were 2 first reads on 2 policies. One policy was about adding technology language to our current policy that would allow the district itself to send out Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook. We're incredibly excited about doing that, and it's concurrent with a program that Mrs. Klopp has been running with some of our student called Student Voices, where they honestly believe that if in fact we could send out stuff through Snapchat, Twitter, or Facebook, that more kids and more community members would come to some of our events, and as Liz is agreeing with that. So that was one board policy, and then the second one was on the non-resident student tuition. So that policy itself would allow students that are not residents of Eden to attend our schools for a fee. and that fee is determined by New York State, and we can't go over that. The only thing that I would add to that is that the administrative staff and I are currently working on procedures and regulations to go with it, so the how, you do the what in the policy, and then we do the how of it. And that one thing that was recommended to me today by a Cooperstown superintendent or business official was to lock a number of years in for a non-resident student coming into high school, that they had to be here before they qualify for a salutatorian, valedictorian, or scholarship. And that is a really great recommendation. We know that it just drives the kids crazy when a kid will come, when they know where they sit, and then a student will come in from another district and land on number 1 or 2, and they've only been here a year or so. So we'll come back with some ideas on that as well. And that's all I have.
Okay, future dates. Annual budget hearing, Tuesday, May 3rd, 7 p.m. in the junior, senior high school cafeteria. Annual budget vote, Tuesday, May 17th, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. in the junior, senior high auditorium foyer. And the regular Board of Ed meeting, Wednesday, May 18th, at 7 p.m. in the junior, senior high school cafeteria. And anticipated executive session, that the Board of Education anticipates entering into executive session to discuss matters leading to the proposed appointments of 2 particular corporations and the history of a particular ETA person or persons.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carried.
Thanks for coming.